Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So I'm going to go over the Cosmic and Tech dual class crystals, just every champ that's in it, if I think they're a decent pull or not. I've just done a Science and Mystic one, so I've explained kind of the champs in there and if I think it's worth it. Now we're going to go over the Cosmic and Tech. So we've got 4 tiers. We've got account changing, great pull, somewhat useful, and damn it, why did I go for this crystal? But we're going to start off with account changing and we'll just get right into it. So Corvus is just an absolute beast for a lot of content. He was normally kind of thought to be just for short bursty fights, but he's kind of proved valuable in the Abyss as well, which is decent length fights, which yeah, has been quite useful for that. Captain Marvel movie, immunity to poison, great damage once ramped up. If you got Nick Fury, you can just kind of keep those charges up and just plow through some content. So she's once awakened, she's got her indestructible charge as well. So she's yeah, pretty good. I don't really enjoy playing mine. I just find, I don't know if it's because I don't have Nick Fury or not, but I haven't really enjoyed using her. But she's definitely account changing if you do want to go for her. Ghost is amazing for so much stuff. She's helped my account. She was my first 6-star. She's just great for so many matchups. There are a lot of champs that kind of stop her from being useful now, but she's definitely just going to help you with so much content, especially with her synergies as well. Guillotine 2099. I love my 6-star Guillotine. Yeah, she's got some great utility, some great damage once ramped up, and yeah, she's definitely worth going for. Warlock, just a great champ as well. Double immunities, a bit of damage over time, a bit of power control, regen stopper. So he's great as well. Guardian, a little bit of power control, ending in a light combo, some great ramp up damage on the special too, non-crit utility, and the armor up buff can counter havoc. Last 3 champs can counter havoc quite nicely. So they're kind of champs that are going to be a really great addition to the roster and maybe account changing. Moving on to the great pull, Proxima. If you pull her or awaken her, you're going to be reasonably happy with that. You could pair her up with your Corvus to get the True Strike for Corvus, and she can kind of pull a lot of weight. Venom basically shuts down any Spider-Man character, so no evades, great damage. And yeah, he's just great champ now since the rework. Silver Surfer, I think he's quite underrated. His damage is still decent. His prestige is high. He's got some. You can use him for diss track or buffed up. So he's decent. I think he's definitely underrated. He's just didn't quite live up to the hype. Arcus, great champ, great pull. He's not quite as good as the other ones, but he does have some great ramp up damage and some decent utility. Cull, insane damage. The block damage you take is quite a bit, but he's still definitely a great one to get out of here. Venom the Duck is a great champ. If they've got high armor, then yeah, you can just rip through them. Once he's ramped up and he's got 9 buffs, he can just wreck stuff. Medusa, definitely the best robot counter. If you can apply debuffs to them and armor shatter them, she's definitely the best robot counter and great damage. Hyperion is insane for damage dealing. His power gain is just awesome. You can just rip through fights with that. You can even stun lock with the special 2 if you get lucky with the RNG. Dr. Octopus, any regen and power gain matchups are made quite easy. He's got some good utility, especially when awakened. It makes it a little bit easier to keep the debuffs up. So he would be a great one to pull. I'd like to dupe mine out of this one if I go for these eventually. Mysterio, he's got some unique utility, and the damage is great after the special 3, which is probably the way you would use him, special 3, and then build up for a decent poison. So he's still a decent champ. Darkhawk is a decent offensive champ and an alright defender now. If you can get him max sig, he's a decent defender still, but with Magneto's buff, he's kind of lost his value on defense, I think. Starkey, definitely a great champ. If you've been struggling to pull him, you can pull him out of here and be happy with that. And first time awakening, you wouldn't be too unhappy with. I think everyone kind of knows how he works now. Hulkbuster after the buff would be a great pull. And also the awakened ability is quite a nice one now with that regen. Sentinel, double immunities. The awakened ability would be great to get from here. He's definitely a decent tech. A lot of these great pulls could arguably be in the account changing, but I've popped them here just because they don't quite compare to the others in account changing. Star-Lord, he's still, if you're looking for a damage dealer and you can get him or awaken him out of this crystal, he's definitely a great pull. He was my second 5-star and I'm still yet to awaken him. So he would be a good one to awaken and might change some accounts. I did use my 4-star in Act 5 Chapter 3 to help with the class chapters where you have a 50% weakness if you're not using the right champ, and you can just kind of ramp up to a certain amount of hits and then you're basically ignoring that weakness, which is quite nice, and a good way about getting through those chapters. Punisher 2099 after his buff is still a great pull out of here. It's some good utility and some good damage now, so he's definitely not a bad one to pull. Nebula, some regen, some shock, and because there's not many shock immune characters in the game, double immunity, so should be a decent one to pull as well. Somewhat useful is some not great champs, some that could kind of go up or down depending on how you want to look at it. But Terax, I would like to see him at rank 5 Sig 200 just to see exactly how the damage would scale. But decent defender, so somewhat useful and probably would be a bit of fun on offense if he was rank 5 Sig 200, but is probably not what you're going to look at as a great pull. Nova, not sure if he needs to be awakened, but I've popped him in somewhat useful just for defense and maybe a bit of fun on offense because his animations are quite nice. The champion has some utility. I've done a video on him recently, so if you want to check that out and have a look at that utility, it'll be up on the channel. Heimdall, it might be a great pull or account changing if you are looking for that synergy and you don't have it, then it might be account changing, but his True Strike's great and he does have great synergies, so he's somewhat useful, but his just damage is quite lacking. Annihilus, great champ. If you want to ramp him up and use synergies and that, he can hit pretty hard, but it's kind of impractical to do. You can use special 3 to lengthen the stifles, and then what I would do is use a special 3, then get as close to a special 2 as you can, and then use the special 1. That'll refresh everything, and then you'll get some kind of power gain. by hitting them, and then you should be able to get up to a special 2 quite easily and throw that off for kind of max furies, which it does hit very hard, but it's just not quite practical. So the little update to him didn't, I think, make really that much of a difference. It's a little bit nicer if you do like using him, but Hela, it can be useful if awakened. She's got the cheat death, which can help with, I can't remember the name of the node, but when the life swaps from champ to champ. Can't remember it off the top of my head, but she can be handy for that. And same with the Heimdall synergy if you want to use that. Is it Aspect of Chaos, maybe, I think it could be called. Carnage is definitely a good fun champ, but his utility is lacking, so he's kind of not in the great pool, but if you do like him, he's definitely worth ranking up for fun, especially if he's awakened. He's definitely a good one to possibly have. King Groot, a little bit of utility, but the damage is quite lacking with him as well, so not kind of the greatest one to pull, but it'd be all right. Angela, some great damage, not much utility besides the armor ups. I can't think of any other utility, bit of regen and stuff, but she's just got decent damage on basic hits. Phoenix, I think she's a decent champ. She's not just a prestige champ, but she's kind of lacking compared to some of the other powerhouses in Great Pull and account changing. Spidey Symbiote, if you do like him, you can get some big special 2s off, but yeah, he's not got that much utility. But with the Stealth Spider-Man synergy, yeah, you can get some decent special 2s off if you did want to rank him up. Ronan, he could be account changing for very few fights. If there's a lot of buffs and you can stun lock them, then yeah, he's the best option. But in most circumstances, he's just kind of useful, so just pop him there. Iron Man Infinity War, if you did use the Stealth Spider-Man synergy and have the awakened ability to go to low health and keep converting the plasma with your heavy attack, can deal a lot of damage, but yeah, it's kind of situational. You need to be able to do that to get the most out of him, really. But he's a good defender still, even with Magneto. He could annoy some people. Civil Warrior's got some heal block and power control uses. Hopefully he gets a little tweak to his damage numbers, and he'd be quite a decent one, because he does look alright and his animations are quite good. Ultron, not really much going for him besides the regen, but he does deal some damage, double immunities, is alright with suicides, but the damage still isn't quite there. Green Goblin, maybe an okay defender in on some nodes with his regen, and yeah, that's about it. He can have some decent damage on offense, but he's not going to be the one you rank up unless you don't have really any other options. He does have some power control, or chance for some power control in the special one, but other than that, not too much of a use for him. Yondu, I did have him kind of in the damn it tier, but it depends. If you are quite early on in the game and you do have Act 5 to explore, his heal block can come in handy. So, but kind of in end game content, he's kind of lost his use using that heal block. But going on to the damn it tiers, the one you really wish you didn't go for the Crystal for. Kamala, Sweeter has shown that she can be a great champ, but he can pretty much he's done that with Howard the Duck as well. He can do that with any champ, so he's done it with Groot. Well, he didn't, yeah, it's hard to show Groot as a great champ, but he can kind of pull off some great fights with those champs. So She could be moved up, but for most people, she's not really going to be somewhat useful compared to the others. Venom Pool, yeah, not really. He's got some utility, but he's not really going to be that useful. If you've got any of the other champs, you'd rank them over him. Any others? Superior Iron Man for some regen. I'd like to see a Sig 200 rank 5 Drax just to see how those Furies stack up and how the bleed kind of scales, but yeah, there's not really much there for what you would want out of this crystal. But all in all, I think if you're wanting any of those account changing or great pulls, I think it's an okay crystal to go for, but I think there are a lot of fails in this crystal. But if you are wanting any of those top champs, then I would say it's like once I get what I'm looking for from the Mystic and Science crystal, I probably will go for this one for Warlock, because I think his kind of unique utility you can't really do with anyone else. So I will try and get him eventually, but I think Mystic and Science are the way to go for me at the moment, but you could decide whether Cosmic and Tech is for you. But that is basically the breakdown of this crystal. If you did like the video, make sure to smash the like button, hit subscribe so you can keep up with all the videos I'm doing. Let me know if you think any of these champs can go up or down a tier. And other than that, we'll see you in the next video.